All right, we are here in studio with a special guest this afternoon, the first of a few guests that we're going to have this week in relation to the Fab 4 Festival, which is going on Friday and Saturday at the Cannery Ballroom here in Nashville. May Pang is with me. Welcome to Nashville, May.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you here. May, of course, was John Lennon's girlfriend, his production assistant and coordinator back in the mid-'70s during a very good period in John's life. And she's the author of a book that just came out recently called Instamatic Karma that is full of candid personal photos from that area made public for the very first time. It's a great book, May.
Thank you. I mean, you know, it was a labor of love in this case.
Well, a quick history for folks who may not be as familiar as I am. You first came into the Beatles circle around 1970. How did that happen?
Well, actually, I came into the Beatles circle in September of '69.
Okay.
And I went and had found a job. Just went up and asked for it, and I got it with APCO Management, which, of course, was Alan Klein's company that managed the Beatles. They had just acquired Apple Corps Limited, and he was also still managing the Rolling Stones as well.
Wow. So for a young person, that had to be pretty exciting.
That was great. I mean, I couldn't believe my luck. I mean, you know, getting up there. But, you know, it wasn't all glamour. You get up there and you're doing the job that you have to do. It's like a gopher. You do everything. You go for this, go for that. You're in this department. And in the end, I was in the music publishing, which I love. I enjoy that mostly.
Now, your time with John is generally thought of as being that time in L.A. in 73 and 74, but actually it's longer than that, right?
It is. It's, it started in 73, 74, early 75, but it really started out from New York to L.A., back to New York, which a lot of people didn't realize. We just kept going back and forth to L.A. It was more a place for us to do our projects, but we really called New York our home.
Now, while in L.A., John's there hanging out with Harry Nilsson, Keith Moon, and Ringo Starr, all crazy partiers at the time. I'm guessing you were probably the only sane one of the bunch, right then.
Oh, my God. Yes, they called me, was it Mother Superior at one point? Phil Spector. I mean, you name it. We've been through it all, John was pretty happy with the fact that I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do anything. I was just being the den mother, and I was the youngest one in that lot.
Well, I would suspect that maybe you kept John out of more trouble than he would have gotten in with otherwise.
Well, probably so.
The return then to New York was about the time that the Walls and Bridges album was done, and which is one of John's best, I would say. Probably a lot of fans' second favorite, yeah.
Yeah, do you realize it's his only #1 album with a #1 single in his lifetime?
Isn't that incredible?
I know, nobody realized that, yeah.
And you played a part in it. Of course, your job was, production assistant in that, but you're actually on there. You whisper yes. John in number 9.
And I also sing the background, too, to that, the words, Abawakawa Puse, right? Yeah. Yes, and I just had a grand old time recently re-meeting up with Laurie Burton, who was the other female singer on that with me. John, it was John, this kid Joey, and Laurie and myself.
You must still love that when you hear those songs come on the radio.
It's cute. I mean, even my kids going, "Oh my God, it's Mom."
You actually, if I have this right, went to one of the very first Beatle Fest, which was in New York around 1974. John asked you to go, right? He
asked me to go. It was the first Beatle Fest they had, and he says, "Why don't you go check it out? I'd like to know what they're selling." And, of course, he says, "I can't go, and, so you go." And he was lazy. He'd rather hear it from me. And the best part about it was, for me, was running into Jürgen Vollmer, who was the photographer back in the Hamburg days. And I called him up, and I said, "There's this guy, Jürgen." He goes, "Oh, my God, get his name and number." And Jürgen came over, and there's the photo on the rock and roll album. That was Jürgen's.
Wow. So that probably wouldn't have happened had you not done that.